Well, welcome back. I am I'm here to discuss a divide in human consciousness. It's a very controversial subject, and out of all things, some of like Pavlov's hierarchy of needs type things. Like we are bound by things like safety, and because of that, we create this world around us. And some people create a prison for themselves. It's just a matter of what is comfortable to you, what's safe to you. And, like, there really, as long as you're not affecting other people, that there really isn't a wrong, uh, like, like, you do you type thing. The the truth about what I'm saying here, like a divide in human consciousness, those who are awakened and those who are not, is actually broke down into a lot more pieces than awakened and not awakened. And so whenever we as humans go to feel that out in other people, it is it is somewhat oh gosh like there's no set rules. There's no grounds of reality that aren't real. Like people's experiences are their experiences. People don't make shit up based on something that they didn't perceive in their own mind. And sometimes taking the time to discuss and interact those things is really all it takes for somebody to let it go. Like if you're pinned against the wall and suddenly like somebody lets you know that hey, you're safe and you're okay, you're going to feel a lot better. Like your whole reality is going to change. And like the same thing goes for every human in the world. This isn't just people. It's certain people. It's the human race. It's every person on earth has these experiences, and it some of them never actually come to a head, like because it's hard. It's hard, like it's hard to discuss something that somebody has made us feel a certain way about. Like some feelings are frozen in time, and some things don't ever have a resolution. And part of being able to explore that is knowing that there may not be a resolution for what you're discussing. And excuse me. So like I'm sharing this around. This is part of the reality, is just that like if you center within yourself, and you are not reliant on your environment, other people, or your reality, you're going to survive no matter what. There's not any question whether or not that you will make this. It is simply how long, how hard. And so this divide, it at some place seems like most things split into, two different sets of beliefs. And this is congregated just like black and white people. It's exactly the same thing. And so whenever that people are creating friendships and allowing people in their life and making boundaries between people, because you have to have healthy boundaries. You have to have healthy boundaries. And like that's why that this congregation happened. That's why this split happens, is because we're, you know, delegating ourselves from others. And, working as a team requires a level of trust. And whether that trust be with a shared amount of time together, or if there's a, real, connection. Can I get a connection? And so, that's the ground as far as, us knowing ourselves. And, it some people, going back to like awakened, not awakened, type of thing, like knowing or not knowing, but what do you know? What do you think that I know? What, it becomes down to how long did you sit and talk to this person and really get to know them? You may look at, a fake screen in your head and see, oh, or you see a color in your head, you see their aura, like if we stay on Earth, you know, but, we trust this, maybe a little more, than we should. And, that's just part of growing, is you learn and you figure out, who is for me. You figure out, how am I going to build and find the right people that can help you do so. And that's, some people may feel isolated, like they don't have anybody in this world, and that's the real news here, that you may feel as if that you don't have anybody in this world. And the fact is that we're all always connected. It's just a matter of finding those connections and either disconnecting them or finding a way that they can coexist. I'm going to read this comment. It says, Supper Club is ready to go home to eat. With you want a snack or no Oro with a chicken salad? You want a chicken and I'll eat it up to him for a while, then is going out of my house. What? Anyway. Oh my god. And so some of us notice these connections within our minds, within ourselves, and, can kind of know what each other is doing, and can kind of trust that we can always know that this is what this person's doing when this person's doing it. And like this comes about in like basically all of our thoughts are a pile of garbage until we notice one. Our thoughts are useless to us. We sit and think about way too much shit. And so if we could think about doing something constructive, we realize that we can, you know, make serious make serious like pieces of knowing. And like if I could take and kind of like put a rock down over my head to hold my thoughts down, and like over my left eye to close it, like it, it it really comes down to trusting your environment and knowing who you are within yourself. And so this segregation is individual. Each person's individual to their reality. And so I just wanted to share some of this today. I think sometimes that less is more. And so if you think of the world as like a Bernie pile, just like a pile of garbage, and then you start to notice, like, hey, there's, Lovosaurus. Like, eventually we know what to do. And we know that this person's going to make you think of certain things, and it's always going to be consistent. And sometimes just knowing that you're tuning into a joke, or knowing that you're tuning into, because like if you tuned into a joke and it wasn't a joke, you're gonna get a way different response from everybody. And so you know um yeah, so thanks for letting me talk. I appreciate you checking this out. Hello, Princess Infinity, and Cornelia. Life lesson 671. Thank you. So All right. We'll see you later.